Hello everybody, welcome here to YouTube channel Enrich Your Biology. I'm here to enhance your knowledge and presently I'm dealing with 9th class syllabus. Previously we did structure of animal cell and the plant cells. Today we will do the tissues. In the unicellular organism, just like amoeba, all the vital activities of life, that is respiration, ingestion, digestion, excretion, etc., all these are performed in the single cell. But in multicellular organism, there are millions of cells. So these cells, they are grouped together, different types of cells, they are grouped together to perform the different type of function. For example, in human being, nerve cells convey the messages, muscle cells contract and relax to say help in movement, blood help in transportation of material, food material, carbon dioxide, oxygen, water, and all hormones, etc., from one place to the another. So in plant, they are also multicellular. They are stationary in habit. Their tissues are different from the animal cells. Most of the tissues of the plants, they are dead. To protect them, to support them, to face the environmental changes. In the plants, there are two types of tissue. Simple tissue and permanent tissue. So today we are dealing with the plant tissue. There are two types of cells in the plant tissue, that is meristematic and permanent. Meristematic tissues, in the meristematic tissue, the cells are dividing and redividing. They have the power of division. They continuously divide and add to the length, girth of the plant. Do they help in the growth of the plant? So the cells in this case, they are very active, thin walled, dense cytoplasm, big nucleus, and with no vacuum, no intercell. How they are intercellular spaces. So in the meristematic tissue, there are three types depending upon their location. What is this? Apical, lateral, and intercalary. Apical meristem, which are present in the tips of roots and shoot. They help in elongation of the cell. They help in elongation of the roots. They help in elongation of the shoot. So they are present at the tip. So they help to add the length of the plant organs, root and shoot. Then is lateral meristem. It is present radially. Lateral meristem present radially, just like cambium. Lateral meristem divide and redivide and add to the width of the plant organ, whether it is in shoot, whether it is root. They add to the girth of the plant. They divide laterally and add to the girth of the plant. just like example is cambium. Then is intercalary meristem. Intercalary meristem is present at the base of the nodes. Or at the base of leaf stalk. These intercalary meristem divide and redivide to elongate the internodes. To elongate the internodes, to elongate the stalk of the leaf. So this is all about the meristematic tissue. Again I can repeat, meristematic tissue, this is the apical meristem. Lateral meristem, and it is intercalary meristem. Meristematic tissue, they have the power of dividing and redividing. They continuously divide throughout their life cycle. Their cells are thin-walled with big nucleus, dense cytoplasm, and depending upon their position, there are three types: apical, intercalary, and lateral meristem. Apical meristem present at the tip of root and shoot. They divide and redivide and add to the length of the plant. Lateral meristem, they are present radially. They divide and redivide to add to the girth of the plant. Plant will broaden. And intercalary meristem, it is present at the base of the nodes. They help in elongating the internodes. They are also present at the base of stalks of the leaves. These meristem cells, after many divisions, some of the cells get converted into their another type of cells. They are differentiated into specific type of cells having specific shape and size and lose the power of division. This process is called as the differentiation. When meristematic cells, some of the meristematic cells got differentiated to perform the certain function. This process is called as differentiation, and by this differentiation permanent tissue is formed. So how permanent tissue is formed? The meristematic cells, they acquire specific shape and size, perform the specific function, and this process is called a differentiation, and the tissue is called the permanent tissue, which loses the power of division. So permanent tissue, it is of two types. Simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue, which has simple cells. In this one kind of cells, they are grouped together to perform the certain type of function. To simple permanent tissue, there is single type of cells. They are grouped together to perform the specific function. This is of permanent tissue is of three types: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Parenchymatous tissue. They mostly form the ground tissue of the plant and pith of the plant. In this case, the cells are large with large intercellular spaces with large vacuole and they store food material. They are thin walled. Their wall is formed of thin layer of cellulose. So they form the ground tissue and pith of the plant. Parenchyma cells, when they have chloroplast, it is called as the chlorenchyma. When the parenchymatous cells, they have green color pigment containing the chlorophyll in the chloroplast. When chloroplasts are present in the parenchymatous cells, then it is called as chlorenchyma, which help in photosynthesis, in production of food, in production of starch, taking carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight. In aquatic plants, the parenchyma cells, they have large air cavities to provide buoyancy to the plant. So they can float. So this type of parenchyma is called as aerenchyma. So simple parenchyma, they store food material. Parenchyma containing chloroplast photosynthesize and help in production of food. Aerenchyma, they contain the large air cavities to provide buoyancy to the plant. Then we come to this parenchyma cell. I can draw here. They have large intercellular spaces, thin walled intercellular space. Parenchyma cell. When they contain chloroplast, they are called as the chlorenchyma. When they contain large air cavities, large air voids, they are called as aerenchyma. Do you follow my point? Then we come to collenchyma. Collenchyma, parenchyma cells are living cells. Collenchyma cells are also living. Their cell wall is formed of cellulose and pectin. They are thickened at the corners. They are unevenly thickened, so provide elasticity to the plant. Just in case of climbers, tendrils, root and leaf tendrils, stem tendrils, they are present there. They have little intercellular spaces. They have intercellular spaces, but it is very small. This is, you can say, they are thickened at the corners and provide elasticity to the plant. They are also living cell. This is collenchyma. Collenchyma, they also form the part of ground tissue. They are present just below the parenchyma. Sclerenchyma cells, they are highly thickened due to the presence of lignin. They lack intercellular No intercellular space is present. Their walls are thickened. This thickening is due to the presence of lignin. Their walls are lignified. That is sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma, they are totally dead cells. Their walls are highly thickened due to the presence of lignin, and they are dead cells. They protect the plant from the external pressure, winds, storm, etc., from external fungi, these any other material attacking the plant. And this sclerenchyma tissue is present. They provide hardness to the plant wall. They are present around the vascular bundles. They are present in the, you can say, coconut fibers, they are very hard. They are present there. Outer layer of the coconut is very hard. So they are present there. Seed coats, they are very hard. They are present in the seed coats. So they provide strength. They protect. They provide protective layer. So this is all about the sclerenchyma. So parenchyma are living with large intercellular spaces. Collenchyma, they are also living, but with little intercellular spaces. Their corners are thickened. They are unevenly thickened to provide elasticity. Sclerenchyma, they are totally dead cells, and their walls are lignified. They are protective in function. They are present around the vascular bundles. They are present in the hard seed coats, in the fibers of the coconut. So they provide protection to the plant. This is all about the simple permanent tissue. Then we come to the complex permanent tissue. Complex permanent tissue is further of two types: xylem and phloem. In complex permanent tissue, more than one type of cells, they are grouped together to perform the same function. Have you followed my point? In simple permanent tissue, single type of cells, they are grouped together to perform the specific function. But in complex permanent tissue, more than one type of cells, they are grouped together to form the same function. So in plants, there are xylem and phloem. These xylem and phloem, they constitute the vascular bundle. Xylem, the function of xylem is to transport the water and minerals which are absorbed by the roots to the various parts of the green plant for photosynthesis and other functions. Xylem consists of xylem parenchyma, xylem tracheates, xylem vessel, and xylem fibers. So xylem is composed of four types of cells: parenchyma, tracheates, vessels, and fibers. Parenchyma, they are simple living cells, and they store the food material, Xylem tracheates and xylem vessels, they help in conduction of the water and minerals from one part of the plant, from the roots to the tip of the plant, that is leaves, stem, etc. Fibers, they support the plant. They are helping supporting the, you can get, plant. So, xylem tracheates, they are tubular structure. They are primitive sometimes and have very small pits. But xylem vessels, they are also tubular structure. They have very numerous pits. These perforations are present, it is called as the pits. Xylem fibers are simple, found of sclerenchyma. Then we come to the phloem. Phloem, it is the main part. It conducts the food material which is synthesized by photosynthesis to the various parts of the plants. So its function is to conduct the synthesized food material, whereas in xylem, its function is to conduct the raw material, water, oxygen, water and mineral, etc. So phloem is further formed of 5 kinds of cells. Which are those? Parenchyma, companion cell, sieve cell, sieve tubes, and fiber. Phloem composed of 5 types of cells: parenchyma, companion cells, fibers, sieve cells and sieve tubes. Sieve cells and sieve tubes, they help in conduction of food material from various parts of the plant to the other. And parenchyma help in storage of food. Fiber, they provide strength to the plant. This is all about complex tissue, complex permanent tissue. So you can, in addition to this, depending upon their position and function, complex permanent tissue, it is of 3 types: dermal, ground tissue, and vascular tissue. Dermal forms the outermost covering, that is called as the epidermis. It is formed of elongated cell with no intercellular surfaces. They are barrel-shaped, flattened cells. This is called as epidermis. And in the leaves, there are present bean-shaped structure, spores, which are called as the stomata. With the help of these stomata, there is transpiration and exchange of gases. Epidermis, it comes under the dermal tissue. Epidermis is composed of barrel-shaped cells with little intercellular spaces, and it is covered by a layer of wax which is called as the cuticle to prevent the desiccation. In some cases, wax layers are also present. In other cases, some hair-like structures are present, which are called as the trichomes. In case of root, the epidermal cells, they are elongated into hair-like structure, which are called as the root hair. And in case of shoot, they are called as the trichome. Hair-like structure in case of shoot are called as the trichome, root hair. In addition to this, you might have seen that in the older trees, the outer layer is, stem layer is very hard. But in plants, in small plants, it is not hard. So what happens in these trees? And that hard portion is called as the bark. How this bark is formed? What happened? In the cortex of the stems, there are present secondary cambium, which produces the cells and pushes towards the epidermis. These cells, they are highly thickened and they are very hard. They have very hard walls. They are subrized. Subrin is deposited on them. This portion is called as the cork. This is called as cork. These are dead cells, and this is called as the cork. Cork. Then dermal tissue consists of epidermis and cork. Next is ground tissue. Ground tissue consists of parenchyma cells. Parenchyma cells, below may be present collenchyma cells. Parenchyma cells, they are storage in function and help in photosynthesis as well. Then here collenchyma, layer of collenchyma cells may also be present to provide electricity to the plant. This is called as the ground tissue. Then below the ground tissue is present vascular tissue. Vascular tissue consists of vascular bundles, and each vascular bundles contains xylem and phloem. In between xylem and phloem, there is present cambium. These are vascular bundles. Vascular bundle, they contain xylem and phloem. So their function is transportation. Function of vascular bundle is transportation. Transportation of water and minerals by the xylem. Transportation of food material by the phloem. In between the vascular bundle, there are present again parenchymatous cells, which are called as, in the center also are present parenchymatous cells, which is called as the pith. Called as the pith. So this is all about the plant tissue. Again I can revise. Plant tissue. What is tissue? Tissue is group of or cluster of cells alike in configuration performing the same type of function. So there is division of labor by forming the tissue. Different tissue perform the different function. So in plants, two types of tissue are present, basically depending upon their nature: meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue, they have the power of division and redivision. They divide and redivide and add to the growth of the plant. They help in adding the length, they help in adding the girth of the plant. There are three types: apical, intercalary and lateral, depending upon their position. Apical meristem is present at the tip of the root and shoot. It adds the cells and help in elongation of the root and shoot. Intercalary meristem is present at the base of the nodes. It help in elongation of the internodes. At the base of stack of the leaves, they help in elongation of the stacks. And lateral meristem, they are present radially. They help in adding the girth of the plant, that just like the cambium. This is all about the meristematic cells. Meristematic cells, they are large, dense in cytoplasm, large nucleus with no intercellular spaces. And after division or redivision, some of the cells, they are modified. They are converted. They attain different shape, size to attain the specific function. So this process is called as the differentiation. So by differentiation, permanent tissue is formed. Meristematic cells, when they are differentiated to perform certain function, then permanent tissue is formed. After their cells are modified, they attain different shape and size and perform the set function, that is called as the differentiation, and tissue formed called as the permanent tissue. So permanent tissue, it is of two types, simple and complex. Permanent tissue, they haven't the power of division. They have lost the power of division. They are grouped together to form the certain specific function. Permanent tissue, I told you they are of two types, simple and complex. Simple permanent tissue has three types of cells: parenchymatous, collenchymatous, and sclerenchymatous. Parenchymatous cells, they are large with large intercellular spaces, and they are storage in function. They are very active. Their walls are formed of thin layer of cellulose. Parenchymatous cells, they are storage in function. They store food material. But when they contain the chloroplast, they photosynthesize. So they are called as the chloronchymatous. And in aquatic plants, they have the wide cavities, wide air cavities, air wide, and they provide buoyancy to the plant, and they are called as the parenchyma. Then is the collenchyma. Collenchyma is also living. Parenchyma is also living. Collenchyma is also living. And collenchyma, they have unevenly thickened walls. Their walls are thickened at the corners. So due to this, they provide elasticity to the plant. Just like in root climbers, in stem climbers, leaf tendrils, stem tendrils, they are present collenchymatous cells. Collenchyma cells, they have little intercellular spaces. No doubt they are living. So collenchyma and parenchyma both are living cells. They are present. They form the ground tissue of the plant. They form the cortex. They form the pith. Sclerenchyma cells. A sclerenchyma tissue has the cells which have highly thick walled. Their walls are lignified. They provide strength to the plant. They protect the plant. They are present around the vascular bundle. They are present in the seed coats. Seed coats are very hard. So it is hard due to the presence of sclerenchymatous cells. Just like you can see in the coconut fiber is very hard. They are lignified. They are the sclerenchymatous cells with highly lignified walls. So they are very protective in function. Then this is all about permanent tissue. Simple tissue, then is complex tissue. Complex permanent tissue, when more than one type of cells, they are grouped together to perform the same set of function. Did you follow my point? In simple permanent tissue, single type of cells, they are grouped together to perform the same function. But in complex permanent tissue, more than one type of cells, they are grouped together to perform the specific function. It is of two types, xylem and phloem. Xylem perform the function of conduction of water and minerals, and phloem perform the function of conduction of food material synthesized in the leaves to the other parts of the plants. Xylem, it is composed of four types of cells: xylem parenchyma, which are storage in nature; xylem tracheates, xylem vessels, xylem fibers. Xylem tracheates and xylem fiber, they transport the water and minerals. Xylem tracheates and xylem vessels, they transport the water and minerals. Xylem fibers provide the strength. Then phloem. Phloem is also composed of five types of cells: phloem parenchyma, phloem companion cells, sieve cells, seed tubes, and phloem fibers. Seed cells and seed tubes, they help in conduction of food materials. So entire group, parenchyma, they store the food and they help in conduction of the food. So this entire group help in conduction of food material. So this is called as the phloem. That's why they are called as the complex permanent tissue. So depending upon their position, again the plant tissue can be categorized in three types: dermal tissue, ground tissue, vascular tissue. Dermal tissue is outermost covering. It protects the plant. The first part in this case is the epidermis. Epidermis is formed of barrel shape. They are very compactly arranged. There is no intercellular space. However, at some places in the leaf, they bear the pores, kidney-shaped pores, which are called the stomata. Stomata help in evaporation. They also help in transpiration and exchange of gases. Epidermis cell, they have a layer of wax, layer of cuticle outside to protect the plant from the desiccation. So this layer of wax is absent in the root epidermis. They are present in the leaf as well as in the stem epidermis. Epidermal cells, they bear small hair-like structure which are called as the trichomes in some cases. Below the epidermis, you might have seen the old trees which are having the bark, very tough bark. What is that bark? The bark is formed of cork. The secondary cambium present in the cortex, it divide and redivide and form the cells which lie below the epidermis. They are thickened, they are suberized. Suberin deposited on them, they become very thick wall, they are dead. And they protect the plant, they protect the tree from the desiccation. This is called as the cork. Then after the dermal tissue, this cork is not present in the roots, it is present in the shoot. Then the last is vascular tissue. Vascular tissue, after ground tissue, it is there is present cortex, there is present vascular tissue, layer of vascular bundles, they are present in the bundles. Each bundle contains xylem and the phloem. Xylem conducts the water and minerals to all parts of the body, plant body from the root, and the phloem conducts the food material synthesized to every part of the plant. So this is all about tissue. I think you might have followed. You like it, share it, subscribe it. Next time we will do animal tissue. Bye.